In this presentation, we will look at Africans' approach, reaction, and response to the Europeans' partition of Africa. At a time in the history of Africa, Europeans had a conference at Berlin, Germany. In that conference of 1884 to 1885, they shared Africa among themselves. This is referred to in history as the scramble for and partition of Africa. Well, the sharing of Africa by Europeans brought out some responses and reactions from Africans. Africans didn't just open their arms and welcome this European imperialistic dwellers. Africans did the much they could to show the fact that they did not accept these tendencies, to show that they were not happy with the partitioning and the division of the sharing of Africa among the European powers. There were some historical events, or there are some events that tend to show African displeasure to the scramble for and partition of Africa. One of such events was the development in Sierra Leone. We refer to it in history as the hot tax war in Sierra Leone. The hot tax war in Sierra Leone. At the time when the British put up what they call protectorate agreement with Sierra Leone, they made move to stamp their influence, which to a certain level they made some progresses. Now, in around 1898, the British made an attempt to impose taxes on people that built huts. They imposed levies or taxes on huts built by local Sierra Leoneans, mainly the Temne people and the Mende people. This taxation imposition did not go down well with these people. They reacted angrily. Well, they saw the taxation as a kind of rent payment on huts and houses they built by themselves, which were not provided to them by the British. They revolted against this, and this revolt was led by the leader of the Kase group called Bai Bure. Bai Bure led this revolution. In that revolution, one of the people that played a very important role in that revolution was Captain Sharpe, the divisional officer in charge of the Sierra Leonean area. Now, and then Governor Gadiu, who was also a British official. In that revolution, the British were said to have shot at some local Sierra Leoneans that were jubilating the attempt by the locals to resist British imposition of this tax. In that attempt, the British forces led by Captain Sharpe shot at them. But the soldiers loyal to Bai Bure resisted this imposition, resisted this attack to a very high level. Although at the time, Bai Bure had to give up himself to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. Well, he surrendered to the British and he was sent to exile to Ghana. So this is one of the earliest attempts of some African locals to resist imposition of the British. Basically, with the partitioning of Africa, all European countries started establishing their influence in their different areas that they signed treaties, agreements, and also the areas that they were able to put up their control during the Berlin Conference. Now, the next resistance attempt of the Africans we have to study here happened to be the Mende Rising. The Mende Rising. The Mende was one of the local groups in Sierra Leone. The imperialistic tendencies of the British didn't go that way with the Mende, and the Mende revolted. Now, a prelude to this revolt was the burning of a palm leaf, which was carried out through the territory of the Mende. On the 29th of April 1889, Europeans and Croats were massacred by the Mende people. The British troops from Sierra Leone were sent to put down the revolt, and 89 Mendes were hanged for the murder of these British officials. The day of the Mende uprising, which is 27th of April, has been a very important day in the history of Sierra Leone. This was because this particular day is looked upon as one of the days that the Sierra Leoneans commemorated the Mende uprising. The next attempt we have to look at or want to study here is the Ashanti resistance to foreign rule, precisely the British control. The Ashanti happened to be one of the greatest ethnic orientation with strong traditional rulership in Ghana. The British, having secured the protectorate, attempted to establish influence on the Ashanti people, and this didn't go down well with the Ashanti people. In 1896, an Ashanti king called Prepe was sent to exile to Seychelles Island, which was one of the islands in Africa. So the immediate reaction of this was that the British attempted to take over the full control of the Ashanti with the sending of exile of Prepe I. The British made a move to take over the rulership of Ashanti. Well, a British governor, precisely Sir Frederick Hodgson, visited Ashanti land in 1900. But there was an issue. Hodgson tried to disrespect the traditional control of Ashanti by requesting that the stool of the leadership of Ashanti be made available for him to sit down on it. This did not go down well with the Ashanti people. Coupled with the fact that their king was already sent into exile, this led to serious disagreement between the Ashanti people and the British. The Ashanti organized the army to fight off British control. They gave two conditions. First, the British should not disrespect their leadership. The British should pull out of Ashanti land, and basically all foreigners should leave Ashanti land. This instruction didn't go down well with the British. Now, the army of Ashanti mobilized against the British. This army was led by Queen Mother of Ejisu, called Ya Ashantiwa. The forces of the Ashanti army besieged the British fort in Kumasi, where the governor and some Europeans and others, some of the troops were trapped. Eventually, most of them forced their way out to Cape Coast, from where they were able to send reinforcements. In that revolt, Ashanti the forces were sent from Cape Coast and to subdue the revolt in Ashanti land. Well, some Ashanti leaders as well, precisely the woman that led the army called Iya Ashantewa, were all sent to exile in Seychelles Island. So let's look at another prominent opposition to the British rule. This time around, it was that of King Jaja of Opobo. King Jaja of Opobo. King Jaja of Opobo was very influential in the sense that he was a former slave sold to the oil-rich river, which was at that time one of the protectorates of the British. He rose to the rank of being the leader of the Opobo kingdom. And with the imperialistic tendencies of the British, King Jaja came in contrast with the British. The British were seriously working towards taking over the control of the Opobo kingdom, which was the territory of King Jaja. King Jaja did not just fold his arms. He objected to the British control. He objected to the British influence. This didn't go down well with the British. For he questioned the British on the issue of protectorate. King Jaja questioned the British on the issue of protectorate. He was strict to believe that his kingdom would not be taken by the Queen, or the Queen of England, who was anxious of adding Opobo to be part of his area of control. This made Jaja to sign the Treaty of so-called Protectorate, which didn't go down well with him. Now, King Jaja was an influential merchant in the sense that he was strongly involved in the oil business in the Oil River region. But with this treaty, the British came so strong on the businesses of King Jaja. In order not to allow his people to be killed and to be massacred, King Jaja was forced into exile to the West Indies in 1887. Let us look at another influential man, another king that was very influential, precisely King Nana of Ishekiri. King Nana of Ishekiri. Nana was the son of Aluma, the founder of Ebrohemia. Aluma was a famous trader and ruler who in his days overshadowed the Olu of Wari. Nana did not only inherit the greatness of his father, but also made use of advantage of being born by an Urobo mother. He developed and controlled trade among the Shekiri and the Urobo. When the British declared a protectorate on the Oyo River area in 1885, Nana's power increased for a short time. But he soon ran into difficulties because he wielded the economic and the political powers which the British wanted to take over. He refused to accept very low price, which the British merchants unilaterally fixed for palm oil. He stopped trade with them, and the acting consul decided to remove Nana. When the acting consul summoned Nana to answer charges, Nana replied that he was not a servant of the British, and any British official who wanted to see him should come to his palace. This did not go down well with the British. In 1884, the British withdrew the recognition given to him as the chief of Ishekiri. When he realized that the British wanted to make an attempt to capture him, he ordered general mobilization of his army and fortified Ebrohemie, but this could not save him. With 350 soldiers and marine, the British blew up Nana's resistance after fighting for a month, and he was captured, tried, and sent to exile in the Gold Coast. These are some of the attempts of the of Africans to resist British imperialistic tendencies. So Africans didn't just fold their arms, welcome the British, and tell them, yes, you're welcome, you're free to do whatever thing you wish to do. No, they made series of attempts to resist the British. There are a few other ones which we may not be able to discuss in this video. We have the Ekumeku movement within the southeastern part of Nigeria. We had series of them. We also had the Benin massacre, which we have discussed earlier enough. The Oba Overwhelmed resistance of British attempt to control Benin Empire. I think we have discussed that in one of the early videos. Please visit our YouTube channel in order to have access to that video. Please subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so that anytime we drop new videos and new videos that contain strong or top African history contents, you'll be notified for you to go through it. If you are a student and you want us to cover any part of African history, please, you can always send message to us or put the topic in the notification corner so that we'll research about it and make it present to your listening pleasure and also to the viewing public. Subscribe to our channel and come up with us as we present more and more contents in African history. Thank you for listening to us.